Hi friends, I hope everyone's doing well. We're back to working on art prompts. This is the fourth video in this series. If you haven't watched the other videos, I'll include a link to the playlist in the description box below. I go over the details of this series in the first video. Originally, there were 6 art prompts, one for each of the different sketchbooks. Since I received positive comments about this series, I added the remaining 14 that I had on the list for a total of 20, 3 of which have been used previously. I want to have more options on the types of art that will be made in each sketchbook. Let's go ahead and pull the 4th prompt. I'll be working in an altered hardcover book sketchbook and making a collage using security envelopes. So let's get started. I'm running low on security envelopes, but I was able to pick some for each value, light, mid-tone, and dark. I will also use the plain white side of the envelope for the light value. My plan is to only use ones with black ink. I did pull a few with blue ink to have on hand if needed. The pages in this hardcover book are on the smaller side, so I'm collaging over the whole spread. I have a design idea that uses the horizontal composition. The light and mid-tone elements will be torn into shapes. The dark value envelopes will be cut into various dome shapes that will be tucked in between the torn shapes. I decided to use a glue stick for this collage. You can certainly use liquid adhesives in a hardcover book. In this other video, I use fluid matte medium. I suggest putting paper behind the pages you're working on if you're using liquid medium in case some of it seeps through. You want to avoid the pages from sticking together. The horizontal composition is a simple one, but you can make it more complex and interesting by using different types of papers. I typically use many different types and colors of papers in my collages, but by using papers that aren't colorful, such as security envelopes, it pushes me to focus on design and composition. It's a good design principle to vary the size of the elements. It's especially important if the design is simple like this one. Size contrast helps the design from looking flat. The security envelope that I'm using for the dome shapes is the darkest one I have in my stash. By only using this paper for one type of element reinforces its importance to the design. As I mentioned, I'm using the plain white side of the envelopes for some of the light value elements. It's also good to use solid color elements if the collage has a lot of patterns. It gives the viewer's eyes a place to rest. I typically place ephemera with text either upside down or sideways, so it's not easy to read. With this, please recycle this envelope element. The text is important to me, so that's why I glued it right side up, so it's easy to read. When working on this type of design, think about the placement of the elements. I'm working from the top down, so the elements will be placed in front of the ones on top, creating a layered design. When filming this video, I was having a frustrating day. The act of tearing the papers was cathartic for me. Think about how you feel when you're creating to see if your mood guides the type of artwork you create. There are days when I'm seeking order or structure. On those days, I tend to make geometric collages, which have more of a structural design. This can be true about the colors you use. Some artists only use a certain color palette. If you don't, think about why you chose certain colors. For this collage, I'm using a prompt that dictates the color since most of the security envelopes are white with black ink. While you watch me finish, I'll add music and come back to discuss the final collage. It's a fun challenge to work with a very limited paper selection. It pushes you to focus on design and composition. I encourage you to create a security envelope collage. If you don't have access to them, try a limited color palette collage with only 2 colors. In this collage, I like the contrast between the torn horizontal elements and the cut dome shapes. It also adds to the contrast that the horizontal elements are light to mid-tone value and the dome shapes are dark value. I only placed one of the please recycle this envelope elements right side up. It's one way to make the element more important than repeating it throughout the collage. It's something to consider doing in your own collages to see if you like it and if it fits your art style. As I was working on this collage, I had a thought that it would look good as a textile design. It'd be easy to put into repeat because of the way the elements are placed. Here's a very rough repeat of this collage. I didn't edit out the shadow along the gutter, so hopefully it's not too distracting. This is a half drop repeat. I prefer this type because the repeat pattern isn't so obvious. I'm curious, what do you think of this collage as a textile design? I usually show the grayscale version of a finished collage, but it's not necessary with this one. The different values are easy to see. That's it for this video. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching. Take care.